But now let's talk about Star Ghana Foundation's special alumni philanthropy project. Well, the project is actually seeking to raise some resources from old students from the Ghanaian community to undertake various projects at schools aimed at improving transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. This time, the team plans to refurbish the ICT Center at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind. Joining me in studio now is Zelete Nyomi, coordinator of the Central Alumni Philanthropy project. It's a good time to be talking to you. Welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you, Blessed.
So what's this alumni project all about? I guess my viewers want to know, first of all, about the project.
It's a project, yeah. We have this group set up to mobilize the schools in Cape Coast, the high schools in Cape Coast, to come together to raise funds to refurbish the ICT Center of Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind. Specifically, we are talking about schools like Mfantsipim, Adesaddle, Holy Child, Wesley Girls, Ghana National, Mfantsaman, Agri Memorial. There are 8 schools. We call them the G8 schools.
Right.
Yeah, and the whole idea is, for one thing, philanthropy is something that many people think people have to wait for people to come from outside and come and donate this and so on and so forth. We're saying that we're going to, our targeted, beneficiaries are Cape Coast School for the Deaf. If you go to Cape Coast School for the Deaf now, you'll see projects undertaken by people from Netherlands, from Japan, and so on. And you would actually just wonder, what are we doing as Ghanaians?
And these schools produced a lot
exactly
students, and
many people
have well placed now.
Exactly, well placed in society. And what are they giving back to Cape Coast? Right. I know they are doing so much for their schools. Mfantsipim students are helping Mfantsipim. As a matter of fact, I am a product of Mfantsipim, but there's more to me than just Mfantsipim, because I schooled at Mfantsipim, I taught at St. Augustine's, I taught at Adesaddle, I taught at Wesley.
So you understand the G8 itself, the concept around the excellence there.
And bringing the G8 together takes me back to the 70s when we had this intercore where people would always come to Cape Coast to come and see them, interact in sports and all that. Right. This time we want to bring them together, not for sports, but to come together and support a less privileged school, which is Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind.
Why the selection of that facility, by the way?
Yes, we have precisely because we don't want to leave anybody behind. I mean, the mantra of the Sustainable Development Goals says we should leave no one behind. Right. And if we call Cape Coast the citadel of education, and all these schools, we hear of all these big schools, and then the School for the Deaf and Blind, they are already, they have a setback, a challenge. They are differently abled. But then we're not saying that they are not able to contribute meaningfully to society. If they had the opportunity, if they had the computers, like others have, probably some of the problems they are confronting as a country now, they'll be the ones who step in to solve them.
And I see how passionate you are about this. Those who would want to support the project would at least want to know what's happening there and why should I support anyway? Yeah,
what's happening there? Yes, the students are in dire need of, we had this project launched at the Airport View Hotel about 3 weeks ago, 20th October, and they were there themselves. And, in a documentary that we made, they were saying that, look, this is what we need most. Right. That's what they need most. They need computers, and then they need, projectors to facilitate their learning. Because, most of them are unable to even concentrate. The teacher is just using sign language and things like that. They want to relate to, exactly. And they have only one laptop in the whole school. So the ICT teacher has to take it from one class to the other. And we are talking about 400 students.
So what's the target?
We aim at getting about 300,000 cedis to be able to get 50 computers and 5 projectors for them.
Yeah. And I'm sure that you've already contacted some persons.
Oh yes,
people. What's the level of reception towards even the idea of going with the G8, which you're talking about?
It's been phenomenal. I mean, even the launch itself, it took an old student of St. Augustine's to say, come and do it at my place. He provided the cocktail, the conference room, everything for us to do it there. We've had people developing websites. We've had some people giving money and supporting the idea. And we would want to encourage anybody who benefited from the schools in Cape Coast, these GH schools. You can just, maybe 100 cities is fine. And you can work out the mathematics. Every year group has about, I mean, if they have their year group platforms, they have about 100 people, at least 100 people. If each of these 100 people give, let's say for the last 30 years, 1980 to say 2010, that's 30 years, that alone, that will give us 300,000 per school. And if all 8 schools give,
exceed the target.
If 8 schools give 2.4. You get it.
So
yes.
you may even exceed the target easily of getting more
which would be a
50.
good thing.
Right.
Which would be a good thing because what we're trying to establish is a new model of philanthropy,
right,
where you're not only giving back to your own school, but also you are thinking about the less privileged in society. And if it works, why not? We'll scale this up. Blessed, I don't know what school you attended. But,
well, I went to Bishop Herman College,
okay,
by the way.
Fine. So we'll get to the Volta regions and then soon it will be a national philanthropy project.
Okay, so how about organizations? Because when you make it sound this way, the belief is, well, I could support. I'm an organization. My organization could support. But of course, you're saying it's for quote and unquote the G8.
Yes.
So let the G8s work out on their own solutions.
Oh, I would want to. You made an interesting point earlier on that we have students from schools, from these G8 schools all over the country and in so many establishments. Right. I'm actually very proud to say that the head of your establishment here, Mr. Kisichu, is amazing. Yes, he's an old student of Mfansipim. Right. You know, so you find them everywhere. They are everywhere. So wherever you are, you can influence your establishment. And if we have what do you call it? When you get onto our website, you would find how to donate. And you can also, of course, just if it's Momo, if you're in Ghana and you want to give, it's *365.
Okay, let's get to it so people can follow properly. So this is the short code that you're referring to.
The short code, yes.
We'll talk about the website. So let's start with the short code.
Okay, for the short code, you dial *365. If you remember the 365 days in a year, so *365. Then *443. Okay. Hash.
Okay. *365.
*443. Hash.
Okay. Right.
That is.
Then you follow the prompt.
Then you follow the prompt. It actually asks you for transparency and everything. You know, at the end of it all, we're going to have a roll call. I mean, of all those.
Okay. So you publish the names.
We'll publish the names
so that everybody knows.
On the website. Yeah. But then after that, it asks you what school are you donating for? Is it Mfansipim, St. Augustine's, at the Saddle? And then, interestingly, there's a 9th one. There are 8 schools. Okay. And there's a 9th one. And the 9th one is others. So you who attended Bishop Herman, you're free to give.
Elitism here, but in a nice way.
G8
and the others. Anyway, that's a good one. Then the website option. So if someone is logging onto the website, which site
www.centralalumni.org. Okay. www.centralalumni.org. And you just browse through giving. You can actually give. We need 50 computers. So if you give even 1 computer, we have only 49 more to get. Right. If you give us 2,
but I'm sure you have specifications, so it's ideal if you give out
exactly. Yes, right.
So
centralalumni.org. Yes. Okay. The estimate is a computer would cost 5,500. Okay. If we're buying it now. Right. I don't know what the price will be in January. so if you want to get us one now, yes, 5,500. Okay. But otherwise, send your 100 CDs or 1,000 or whatever.
So let's talk about the team. If they want to get in touch with the team.
No, you were talking about the website. So
how to go about that. Let's complete that first.
So over there, then you can pay with whatever means. I mean, credit card, debit card, whatever, I mean, and
so once you enter your details,
once you enter your details, yes, you
it's
can
almost
just go
as though you're doing an online transaction.
Yes, exactly,
right.
like you're doing an online transaction.
Then the issue about the contact persons.
Yes.
Probably are there some contacts or
Yes.
some places, locations
Right.
where you could just make your donation?
If you want to get in touch with us directly, of course, then you can also send an email or make a call.
Okay.
Yes, and the number is 0266.
Slowly so they can get
Okay.
that.
0266 969 159. 0266 969 159.
Okay.
And I'll be very happy to talk to you.
And I need to ask about this. The alumni associations are very
Yes.
critical in this. Have you involved them, and do you have their buying into this whole idea?
Yes. Actually, during the launch, we invited all the executives, the national executives came. And the interesting thing is that we've formed a board of trustees made up of representatives from these various schools. So at the end of it all, we are accountable to the board of trustees.
So it's a transparent process.
Very transparent process. I mean, it's Star Ghana, and Star Ghana stands for strengthening transparency, accountability, and responsiveness. That's what the foundation stands for.
Okay, Senator, let me give you the opportunity to speak directly to my audience.
Yes.
Maybe they don't believe me if I say it. I'm not part of the G8.
Right.
So let's allow the G8 club to sell their message.
I really hope I'm talking to some people out there who attended Infantipim, Adesaddle, St. Augustine's, Holy Child, Ghana National, Wesley Girls, and Infantiman. If you attended any of these schools, this is a call to duty. We are doing this, and we must do it as soon as possible. In fact, we want to give the Cape Coast School for the Deaf a newly refurbished ICT center on the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day next year. So please, don't waste any further time. Now that you're hearing my appeal, just dial *443 *365 *443 hash and make that donation, or go to the website and you would find other opportunities to make your donation, or you could call me and we could still talk further about this. Giving is always a blessing. It's more blessed to give than to receive. Thank you.
And of course, you can be a part of the G8 by association. So donate as well and support. And of course, we'll be on our way to supporting the School of Deaf and Blind. But I'm grateful, Senator Anyumi, for
Thank you very much.
joining us.
Thank you, Blessed.
You're still with us here on The Pulse, students of